Hello and welcome to episode 21. In this episode we're going to continue with our expansion of this line. We've obviously already completed the Suntwood section, which is this area here. Now what we're going to do is start on this section, which proves to be quite difficult. Because if we look at Warmpool, if I can get back to OpenTTD, it's quite a small station, and we're going to need to do quite a lot of work around this area to actually fit into what is another hilly area, a second line. So let's get straight to it. So first of all, we're going to create the station. So the stations here are going to be Rinstone, Trentford, Trentborough, Cunley Market. If you have a look here, so in this mod, I've noticed there is a plan list, which is not something I've used specifically, but you can kind of look, you can draw plans. So I can do, well, that's a terrible plan, but hang on, how do I do this? So I can kind of go, yep, it's going to go around here, in some respect, Rinstone. It's going to go down around here somewhere, Trentborough, and then Cunley Market. So this is the first section that we need to build. Now, what we'll do first is create a base station. That is a base station, not a babe station, as many Sky customers in the UK may be aware of. We're going to move this and flatten this land and create this first. So, hopefully we don't have any more crashes like we did in the last episode. It was quite bizarre. I can't really understand what went wrong. Though I understand that, you know, mods do a lot to the game, and you know, you can't kind of incorporate everything that might happen. Especially a game like OpenTTD, where you literally have mods stacked on top of mods. Now, what we'll do is create the bay here. So they're going to be 3 long tiles. Now, where are we going to attach this route onto here? So one suggestion I was thinking of was maybe to have the tracks come around here and then sort of come on there, or we could have the track go over here and then have like the inbound connect there and the outbound connect over here. I think it might be a bit better actually, so we'll do that. So let's connect this onto here like so. And get this going. Let's get the ball moving. That needs to come back actually, I think, for the bridge. Yes, it does. Now, I'm going to pose this question of the day as well. Now, because of my recording schedule and how I obviously record them, I haven't. This one is literally done straight after. It's recorded straight after part 20, so I haven't actually as I'm recording this, nobody knows that this is what we're doing, so I obviously can't take any suggestions at the moment. But I'll create this question for this one as kind of an open-ended question on HS2 and HS3, because I can't really think of anything else. That's why I want you to ask me questions to pose. HS2 and HS3 in the United Kingdom are projects by our government to create a high-speed network. Now, in the United Kingdom, we have High Speed 1 at the moment, which is a railway which goes from the Channel Tunnel, which is a tunnel connecting the United Kingdom to France under a 36-mile tunnel under the sea. And what HS1 does is it connects this Channel Tunnel up to London St Pancras Station, whereas before it had to use our slower lines in the United Kingdom. HS2 and 3 are basically plans to extend that high-speed network up to the north of England. Now, it comes with quite a lot of contention. Quite a lot of it is NIMBYism, which is, oh, well, I don't want that building in my backyard. Oh, it'll spoil my view. Which is bizarre, really, because we kind of live in a bit of a selfish country where people are more concerned with the view from their own garden than they are with the potential on-running benefits that something may have to future generations, which is a little bit selfish if you ask me. But I can understand that quite a lot of people are saying it's sort of a white elephant, really, of a design of, oh, well, it's only designed to, you know, we're going to say we have all these kind of savings and things, but in reality it won't really happen. And I guess it's debatable, but we do need some kind of new infrastructure because our railways are the oldest in the world. don't really think anyone can get around that point. So yeah, HS2 is London to Birmingham, HS3 is Birmingham to Manchester and Leeds. We get flyers through our door because HS3 is going to pretty much go underneath where we are, because a lot of it is actually tunnelled. To say like the Chiltern area and such, a lot of the to put up with a lot of the NIMBYism, a lot of the, oh well, you're not building that in my back garden. What they said is, right, well that's fine. What we'll do is we'll actually tunnel underneath quite a lot of the areas we're going to be covering. I can understand it in some areas. So, for instance, there's the Chiltern, I think it's the Chiltern Hills, which are an area of outstanding national beauty. So, in the United Kingdom, there are a few areas which are designated specifically as areas of outstanding national beauty, and those areas have certain restrictions on them. I think one of the restrictions is they're not allowed to have electric pylons going through. So it's designed to preserve those areas, and one criticism was that the railway would pass through one of them. So they said, right, that's fine, we'll just tunnel underneath it. They've also done that in cities. So in London, a lot of HS1 tunnels underneath large amounts of the city. And it's pretty interesting to see, really. But yeah, so we're going to have a tunnel running underneath, well, near enough underneath our house. That's one thing to it. What I'm actually building here, by the way, is a 5th platform onto Warnpool at Gravity Falls Junction. A show of which I've never actually watched myself, I have to admit. There we go. It's becoming a pretty complex junction, if you don't mind me saying. So this is how it's going to play. So we'd have signals there, and here, and there. Okay, yeah, so that's how it'll extend from Warnpool. Okay. Let's see if we can redesign this section. We can use this depot at least for the local trains. Let's bring these signals back. And then we can actually kind of create sort of a new junction, really. Okay. Really, it could literally just be that, couldn't it? Doesn't need to have all this kind of faffing around here. Yeah, that could literally be the junction. Okay. Let's actually... Yeah, so that can be our junction out from Warnpool to the north. Let's put a signal there and there. Let's create an extra platform. But yeah, HS2, I mean, I am for the idea of HS2 and 3. I do know it's a lot of money, but I think it is important that we start investing in infrastructure which isn't just bolted onto what we already have. A lot of people's arguments are that the money we're spending in HS2 and HS3 should just be invested into the existing infrastructure that we have, but there's only so much you can actually invest in it before we kind of hit your limit of what you can do on tracks which are 150 years old. So I do see the benefits of pretty much saying, look, let's start a new network. Near where my parents live, there's a village which the house prices have plummeted. A village called Church Fenton near York, because it is actually planned as being one of the exit points. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a high-speed line running up the country, and then these lines are going to actually join onto the existing infrastructure at certain places. So journeys can use the high-speed line, then kind of join back onto the existing system to go to destinations which aren't actually served by high-speed rail. And one village which is kind of being labelled as the joining point of that, the house prices have plummeted, which I don't really see why, because it already has a quite a complex rail junction there and such, and you know, people have quite a negative perception of rail where, I mean, in reality it doesn't really bother me, it shouldn't really bother anyone else. I used to live in a house which was literally on the East Coast Main Line, as in, if a freight train came past in the night, which often did, I think there was like a limestone train, the house would kind of give a small vibration. You knew exactly when the trains were coming past. But I mean, it's better than living near an airport or something. Who cares? Even now, like, I live kind of close to a line. You can hear, like if I open my window, I can hear sort of train horns and such from the West Coast Main Line. I'm always kind of being close to trains in some respect. Give us 2 seconds. What I'm going to do, I just need to put my screen recorder on the opposite display. Because what it actually does is it gives me an indication. It gives me like a timer to see how long I've actually been recording, so I don't waffle on too much. But I'm for it. I can kind of see the reason some people would be against it, but you've got to look at the bigger picture really, haven't you? And speaking of bigger pictures, how are we going to get around to Trintford? I think the best place for a station would be kind of here somewhere. So let's kind of get rid of these here, and I'll make sure the village can expand down that way. So if I put a bridge in there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's see what we could do with this. Okay. So let's put in our tracks. We'll have the station at this side, so the station will go here. Because we have this huge hill in the way. May have to come around this hill. Like so. We can maybe no, we can't even tunnel under there. What I'll do is we'll have the 4 tracks end here. There we go. Hooray! There is actually at the moment as well a government review taking place, which is looking at, I forget the name of it, but basically European style signalling instead of our own. Something called, I think it's along the lines of progressive block signalling. So basically instead of set blocks like we're doing in this game even, where, hey look, so a signal there, that's one block that never moves. Progressive block signaling, or whatever the name is for it, basically means that the signals are set inside the cabin of the train. So the train kind of shows green, amber, double amber, red, in accordance to where the train is in front of it. So it's kind of flexible signaling. The advantages are you can get a lot more trains on a single section of track because the signals basically become completely flexible. Let's have a look. Yeah, I want to try and keep this 4 track if I can. So if I can kind of just start getting through all here. 3. It's difficult to build here. I'm going to have to make it as a level crossing, I think. Because there really isn't much I can do with the terrain at the other side. It's difficult terrain to build in. So if we put this here, kind of come across this way, that's going to work, isn't it? There we go. Let's add a station. Oops, nope, it needs to be joined on, so to Trintford. Whoops. Then we'll make it a sheltered ticket box here. So that's Trintford Station. Is this all signalled? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll do. Signal there and here. There we go. I'm also going to put like an overflow line there, just so if a train's kind of coming out of the station, one can still go around to the outside platforms. Right, so we have Rinstone, Trintford. Now Trentborough needs its first station. Just a set of benches will do. In fact, yeah, a set of benches there and not there. Because the principle of this is it's so close to Warmpool, that's probably where most of the traffic's going to be going. So you only really need them to wait going back, not coming, going out, sorry, not coming back. It needs to come down here. We could kind of have Cunley Market Station maybe at the top of the village. Do like that. Yeah, so about there. There we go. So there's no point making junctions on this because it is literally just a slow and a fast lane, isn't it? We'll look at, although, we'll look at places that are going to be served by semi-fast services and make sure that they are joined on. Which could be Trintford actually. So what we'll do is 1, 2, 3. There is going to be the other signal. 2, 3. So if there's 1, 2, 3 signal, 1, 2, 3. There. We'll have a crossover point. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh yeah, and we'll need to make sure that the it can get back onto the main line. There we go. So Trintford will be a semi-fast station. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll have a station in Cunley Market. Do this, have one of those, then have it come back onto the platform. There we go. Cunley Market. Yeah, New Waffingly, Tenfingley Market, so then it goes up here. And this is going to be the main station. So maybe we should create this station first. Where's the best place? The best place is going to be this end of the town. Like that. There we go. And then we'll have the actual layout as an island platform either side of 2 bays. So it's the bank station for some reason. Four, 5. So that's going to be the where the station is. Let's get one of our modular stations. And we can use that to create a footbridge over the tracks. Like so. And how should we have the design? Should we have it similar to Warmpool, like this? No, that doesn't look good there. It's a shame there isn't this, but a side version, like a one platform one. We'll have a waiting area right at the end, and then CRT monitors. CRT monitors are completely a psychological thing. Psychologically, you're not as bothered waiting if you know how long you're waiting for. Okay. Oh, well, actually, it's all going to be 4-track anyway, isn't it? So, have this come down. We will make it as a reversible station, though. So, by that I mean that we're not just going to kind of keep the line segregated as 2 up, 2 down. We'll have 4 bidirectional platforms. I don't like having that like that because then trains will automatically cut over them, which is why I'm doing it off the main centre. Okay. That'll do as a junction. No, it won't. I need one there. Then here, the station can be at the bottom of this town. Right. Just going to bring up my screen recorder so I know how long I've been wittering for, or not wittering. It's HS2. It's kind of it's a very complex topic. I'm sure people have mixed opinions of it, but I'm all for seeing some genuine forward thinking. Really, I really think our railway should be nationalised again. But hey ho, I can definitely see why they were privatised, because when they were privatised, they were hemorrhaging a lot of money, and the country's never really known what to do, I think, with the railways, which has been the issue, really. Also, I forgot I'm supposed to be making these 3 long, aren't I? Not 2 long. So, I mean, you had, for us, basically, our kind of modern-ish history of the railways from the 50s onwards. So after the Second World War, each country had to decide whether or not it was going to completely rebuild the railways from scratch, or rebuild them, as in kind of repair and carry on. And we repaired our railways instead of rebuilding them from scratch. Now we have very old railways as it stands, and the government's never really known whether the railway's something that should be a service to the people, should not make profit, or whether it is actually a business in itself and its main purpose is to generate income. It never really has kind of worked it out. And in the Conservative government of the late 80s kind of said, well, it should be a company. It's there to make money. So it was privatised. But in hindsight, I think a lot of people started to realise that actually the railways are it's a service to the people. And from there, we've had increasing passenger numbers. There's a lot of things now which kind of solidify the argument that it should be a nationalised service, when we didn't really have that when they were privatised. Especially didn't have the passenger numbers we did. So as soon as they were privatised, and I mean, I guess you could kind of say, well, look, as soon as they were privatised, they started gaining interest again. Is that the fault of privatisation? Is that privatisation that did it, really? And I guess you could say that, but there's obviously a lot of other external influences as well. I don't think someone decides to start using the train because it's not a government entity. I think you have to take into account the price of oil and all this kind of stuff, which had a profound impact. And we see our lives are a lot more environmentally focused now than they were in the 90s. Everything's about being environmentally friendly, and that's what trains are. Well, electrified ones, anyway. Right. Bit of a strange junction, but you know, it works. I'm going to get rid of the bank suffix off this station name. So far this is what we have. I'm going to get rid of this plan as well. Whereabouts was it? Plan list. Delete. All this rusty track. Oh dear. Right, so we're at Sonning Hall. Now we just need to get it round, look, to Plarnville. Once we make Plarnville Station, we can start running express services, and we can do the last kind of local bit afterwards. It does also mean Plarnville's going to need a depot, isn't it, for the express trains. Where can we create this station? I'm kind of going to presume it's over here. I'll get rid of this. Don't want to destroy too much of the city. But if I do that, can I give myself a bit more land here? So we'll have it come in as 2-track because it is quite tight. So 2-track from there, and then we want it to be, yeah, that'll do there, won't it? That'll do. Could even have a small road there. Oh no, we can't. Okay. I will make an area of the city this side as well. Just to give it more space to grow. Right. And then in this village, which is our last stopping part of this section of the route. 2, 3, 4. We shall do this. Now we need to get these down to... How can we kind of condense these down? Let's have a look. So if I get rid of that... Yes, we can connect the high-speed lines up to there. 1, 2, 3. There. So that's how it joins on. Perfect. This is the sound of concentration. Benches either side. There we go. So that is the line up to Plarnville, signalled. Now what we'll do is create this station. How can we do this one? I think it needs to be a... I think it really should be one of these type of stations. Overarching roof. Let's think. But let's make it 1 tile longer than the rest because it is quite an important station. Then here. Can we make like a backwards sort of footbridge? Yes, we can. And we'll have waiting areas at the end of the station as well. Which makes sense. And then I'll remove that to have a modular station. Hooray! Okay. So this is Plarnville Station. Obviously it is going to come down this way afterwards. So let's kind of create this route now. Coming down. So that's going to be the entry point for the station. And there we go. And on top of this, you see, we're going to create two depots. Like so. One obviously being a servicing depot, which is accessible by every platform. One which is just a feeding depot for new trains. And that one needs a line tile like that. Okay, so we have our Plarnville to Warnpool route. Let's start us some express trains. And what I'm going to quickly do is just see, I've been running for about half an hour. So let's get our good old trusty HST out. Let's make it a little bit, let's make it 4 tiles long, a little bit smaller than most. In fact, what I need to do as well is, non-stop by default needs to be on. So this is a suggestion made by Simon Gosinski. And so in honor of him making a suggestion for us to use non-stop by default, I'm going to name a junction after him, and it's going to be the new junction here. So this is going to be, oops, Simon Junction. I'm just going to move that, sorry. Move it there. Cool. And in honor, well, I was going to say in fact, yeah, in honor of the mod that we're using, we're going to rename these to Joker sidings. I was going to create a new set of sidings, but that was the nearest one to what we had. There was one more I wanted to do, which was that this line here, this railway, is called the Ski Curve, after Jack Ski, who proposed the route initially. So this like section of line here, if it ever decides to load, is the Ski Curve. Right. So what we'll do is get our route non-stop, which is great. No loading. Sonning Hall, Warnpool. I just wanted to make sure that I definitely signalled all the appropriate sections. Tending Hatton, Drenley, finally Suntwood. And we shall let that auto-fill. As it's auto-filling, we will... In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to let it autofill on the second run. Yeah, there we go. We will add this to our Plarnville lines, and we'll add a new line, which will be Plarnville Express. And that's obviously which this one is going to be, Plarnville Express. And this will be our route. So let's have a look. So what we've accomplished there is we've made the main section of our line. Now, in the obviously the part after this one, I don't think it's going to take us a full part to create the local services that are going to run off the last little section of the line. So there's probably going to be something else that comes into play there as well. So we've actually expanded onto a new area of the map. It's not just about the expansion itself. It's more a case of now we have a new area to build new lines from, which is the main part, because we want to start getting into the main stake of the map, because we've already kind of concentrated on the western side so far. And that's what obviously this gives us the ability to do. So this curve here has been very important as well, because Suntwood looks to be one of the biggest stations, one of the biggest cities, sorry, in the map. How is the station doing? See, this station could do with I may actually, while it's doing its route, build a fourth platform here. I know it takes quite a lot of work, but yes, let's do this. Tons of work to do this, but we need to do it. Alright, so let's get all that around. Where on earth can it go from here? Can I? Yes, I can. Instep that. Could I do that? No! Wrong tool. Yes, perfect. Okay. What I'm also going to do is demolish one of these buildings and just create new areas for the town to build, just to offset what I've demolished. And then we will create this platform. It's involve re-signaling that slightly. Whoops, putting the wrong type of signal on there. And then what we'll do is these on, put up buffer stops on the end. And add the following. And there we go. This is the fourth platform at Suntwood. This one will nearly be done. So if I go back, I'm sure I've gone well over, yeah, about 37 minutes in. I'll finish off this express route and then we'll bring this part to a definite conclusion. So, I mean, where can we build from here? So obviously the next section is that we're going to build Radham and then kind of a loop around here up to Little Pedford Bay just for our local services. But if you see, I mean, look at this here, it's becoming quite complex. We could make a line from Plarnville Falls up to Plarnville as one example, you see. And that's going to take up quite a few places. I mean, look actually how close this is to the other side of the map. So it is looking quite promising. We could get something over there, you see. It's going to be the second route it autofills, isn't it, anyway? In fact, yes. What I'll do is I'm going to complete this autofilling schedule off camera because it's a little bit boring now, I understand. What we'll do is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to create 5 express trains which run the route, which will use this timetable. And then from there, obviously, we'll have a pretty common express service, again, through Warmpool, and it helps, obviously, our progression. But yeah, so that's where we'll end this part. I've been Zest Husky, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next part.